Shabbat Shalom. There we are. Shabbat Shalom. That was surprising. It's really nice to see everyone here. The very first thing I want to do, though, is potentially invite you to find a place lovingly farther away from each other. The news is a little rougher this week than it's been, and if you are sitting near people that are maybe not in your bubble, if you can find maybe 6 to 10 feet apart from each other, we love to be together. It is so important that we are here, but without any offense, we give you permission to keep yourselves so super safe tonight. Welcome. If you are joining us virtually, you are very, very safe, and we feel you close, even though you are geographically more far. Of course, we invite you to please keep your masks over your mouth and your nose throughout. Student Cantor Jordan and I will be unmasked, of course, because we tested this morning and are negative in order to keep you and each other safe. So on that note, we want to invite you to, I just asked you to get apart, but I'm going to ask you to be closer now, to share with each other Shabbat Shaloms. You can stand up and move towards each other again and wish each other, and if you're on our Zoom or our Facebook Live, please write it into the chat, Shabbat Shalom to each other.
Feel free to project from a distance as well, that's very okay.
We'll turn now towards bringing a little bit more light into this room and into this world with the lighting of our Shabbat candles. You'll find that on page 120.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav letzivanu lehadlik
Page 636, Yedid Nefesh.
Artefa
So we have come here into this space on this Shabbat in the middle of December. And sometime in this coming week, in the middle of this coming week, we will arrive at the first day of winter. And it will be the darkest day of the whole year, the most darkness and the least light from when we wake up and when we go to bed. It's a hard day. But then, the magical thing about that day is that the very next day, it starts to get light again, incrementally, piece by piece, minute by minute sometimes. Each day is a little bit longer, a little bit lighter, and a little bit, maybe, we're more able to breathe in it, more able to see the horizon of the long days of spring and of summer. But first it is the heaviness of dark. It might be that this is in some way how we enter Shabbat. That we come from our week of work, our week of school, our week of family responsibilities, our week of maybe exhaustion and too little sleep. And maybe you can look back at your week and you think, oh, there was a time this week where I thought to myself, I'm not that good at this thing that I need to do. Or I am so tired, I don't know how I'm going to make the rest of this day work. Or maybe there was a point in this week that you just thought, how am I ever going to accomplish the tasks that are required of me? And maybe that's how we come in here, heavy, carrying stuff. But, like the longest day of the year, in increments, in the minutes that unfold in this service here, with the prayers and the song and the uplift and the community, little by little, maybe it gets a little bit lighter, minute by minute. Lighter, like lighter, but also lighter, like less heavy. Like the heavy that we came in here carrying, we feel like we can put down, and maybe we replace some of the hard thoughts of our week with things like, oh right, I am worthy just by being born, just by being a human being. I am beautiful and whole and holy, and I don't have to fix anything right here, and nothing is required of me right here, and everything is as it is okay. Right here. And we'll pray as the moments unfold tonight. We give ourselves permission to get lighter, to feel the joy seep in, to release the tensions in our back, our shoulders, our jaw, wherever you carry it. To take a deep breath and to let Shabbat in and let Shabbat lift us and let Shabbat connect us moment by moment as the joy builds through our psalms and our songs and our prayer and being together. And so with that hope that this night does for us what Shabbat needs to do for us, we continue into Kabbalat Shabbat, our Psalms of Shabbat, on page 130. Because Spirit in ways that don't injure us. So we are trying. If it's still not good, we will keep working on it.
You know, Rabbi Colin, I think I'm going to ask for a little help here in a moment because his mic doesn't seem to be turning down at all. If you want to hold that wireless line right here for me, it might be a little bit of a better volume for all of us to pray together this evening. Well, thank you. Well, let's do it in a way that's a little easier for all of us. We're going to turn the page and we're going to get right back into this on page 134. Not page 134. I turned too many pages. Page 132. Adonai Malach. Adonai Malach Tagel Haaretz. Yismehu Rabim. Anan Ba'afel Seviva. Zehu Nishma Me'od Yisrael. take a moment just to breathe in the spirit of Shabbat before we continue on page 138. Page 140. There we go.
My arm is tired.
Sorry.
Not your fault. All right, technology. We will best you yet. Shabbat Shalom. Have you noticed that more and more TV shows are playing out storylines that are just our actual lives? Grey's Anatomy told the story of the pandemic through a lens that only Shonda Rhimes can capture. This Is Us characters are all masked up and testing. And we've recently... Hello. Test. I think you might have unplugged something. This is not God. I just want to be really clear. This is not on. Okay. There we go. Okay. Maybe it is. It's very spiritual. So in my house, we have started watching a newer show called The Morning Show, and they are really in the trenches with our reality, covering Me Too issues and the tragic Las Vegas shooting. And now we're watching the episodes that take place in the first few months of the year 2020. And you don't have to worry. There are no spoilers. I cannot ruin this show for you because we have already lived all of those days. We were there and we know what happens. We are their future. And we kind of hate watching these shows, but with a glass of wine in one hand and our endless salty sweet snack cycle in the other, we're watching our recent history unfold. The characters are all like, it sounds like it's just the flu. And then they decide that it's not newsworthy enough for a segment on their show in January 2020. And suddenly, we are like gods. We know the future. We could go and tell them and warn them. We are Marty McFly back from the future, and we've got some news. Besides the fact that this is not relaxing, gentle nighttime entertainment, it is disconcerting to know what's coming. Disconcerting and so very tempting. This week in Parshat Vay'chi, the last Torah portion of the book of Genesis or Bereshit, we bump up against our deep desire to know the future, to know how it all pans out. Jacob, our forefather, is on his deathbed. He's come to the end of his life and he's surrounded by his 12 sons. No doubt, he wants to pass on to them something helpful, something that could protect them into the future. So he goes for it. He says straight out, Hey asfu v'agira lachem, et asher yikra etchem ba'acharit hayamim. Come here, and I will tell you what is going to happen in the end of days. He's going to do it. He's going to do what we want to do during our late night binge watching. He is going to reveal the end of the story. Some commentators think that what he means by the end of days is the end of the time of their period in exile. Way back in Genesis, God tells Abraham that his children will be exiled for 400 years, and that eventually they will come home. So maybe Jacob is about to tell them that they will sink into slavery soon, but there's a guy coming named Moses, and watch out for locusts, but paint your doorway and you will go home and be free. And some commentators say, no, actually, what he wants to tell them is about the real end of days, how redemption will come, how peace will be made, what is the last page of the book of this world, of this existence. And I'll tell you, I want to know all that stuff. I want to know how much longer I've got with my parents. I want to know if my kid will grow up and end up being happy. I want to know if we end poverty. I want to know who is elected in 2024. I want to know what Omicron has planned for us. We're watching the numbers rise again. Schools are closing. We don't even know how worried we should be. And that unknown that we're gazing into, it can feel like an abyss of anxiety. It is so human to want to know how this all turns out. Because at the very least, maybe then we could plan for it. If we know that one day we'll find the love of our lives, maybe we can enjoy dating instead of being so very neurotic about it. If we know when we will die, maybe we'll make different choices about how we live. If we know floods are coming, maybe we could move inland. And maybe we don't just want to plan for the inevitable. Maybe we think that if we know how the story ends, we could try to trick fate and thwart it. So let's get back to Jacob's final words to his sons. Come and let me tell you what happens in the end of days. They all lean in, ready to hear him reveal their future. And then he doesn't. He goes on to tell them about themselves, who they have been and how he feels about them. Some of it good, some considerably less than good, but no big reveal. Rashi, among others, teaches that he wanted to reveal their future to them, but just as he was about to, the Spirit of God fled from him, and he wasn't able to get the words out. This moment tells us a lot about who we are as a people. Traditionally, we don't actually even subscribe to the idea that there is an already written future that we could find out or which could be revealed to us as a fait accompli. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs taught that this is a major difference between ancient Israel and ancient Greece. The Greeks believed in fate, a future that one could not get away from no matter how hard one tried. Ancient Israel had no such master. He wrote, "We do not believe in fate as something inevitable and inexorable. We are free. We can choose." Which is to say, the future is unwritten, and we are writing it. Consider the whole theology around Yom Kippur, doing tshuva, making things right. We believe that we can change our own lives through the choices that we make. We believe that we can change the whole world through our actions. We certainly don't have control over everything. That much is clear. But we do see our actions and our inaction as having an impact, writing the story and shaping the future. Perhaps now more than ever, we don't want to give that piece of ourselves away in exchange for knowing some already written version of how things will shake out. Maybe that's less satisfying than if Jacob had just been able to spit it out and give us the hint we need to know that everything is going to be okay in the end. But while he doesn't tell us that, he does tell us something. The first words that he utters after teeing up his sons with excitement are, "Hikavtzu v'shim'u." Gather up and listen. He may not be able to tell them the what of the future, but perhaps he has made clear the how. How do we go forward into the unknown? Hikavtzu. We gather up. We get our people close. We find more people and we bring them close too. All kinds of people. We turn each other into family, distant cousins, friends, partners in this moment. And we shim'u. We listen. We listen to one another. We listen to the facts as much as we can. We listen to each other's stories and experiences. We listen to our own guts and what they're telling us. We don't need to discover our fate and then find a way to go back and warn past us. We only need to grab each other's hands and define future us, future truth, future what is possible. To listen and to understand and to gather up and to believe that the power of our actions is not only history making, but future shaping. We don't know what Omicron has in store for us, but we know we've got each other. And we know that our choices now can make a difference in whatever's coming down the road. This Shabbat, we end the book of Genesis. As we always do, after we read the last words, we say, Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazak. May we be strong, each of us. Strong of body, strong of spirit, and may we meet Chazak, strengthen one another. Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue with Chatzi Kaddish on page 144, and we invite you to please rise.
Trying a new mic, seems to be a little softer this time. ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. Page 154. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושילנתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם. Page
160, we'll turn to Hashkivenu, this prayer that allows us to articulate the most human of things. We just want to go to sleep safe tonight and wake up in the morning alive and well and whole. We pray this canopy of peace might be above our heads. We pray for the protection over ourselves, our families, our community. We stretch that canopy of peace tonight. We stretch it over all of those who are vulnerable tonight. Everyone who gazes up at the sky and sees and feels unsafe or afraid. Tonight especially, we are praying for the safety of those in Kentucky and Illinois and Arkansas who were hit so hard this week. Tornadoes, massive incidents that caused great pain. We pray that there is a shelter of peace over them. We pray there's a shelter of shelter over them. And we will continue from Hashkivenu to Misha Berach, our prayer for healing, because we are a people who make it our business to worry about other people. Maybe that seems just so normal to us, but it is entirely radical to take time and think about those who are struggling, or suffering, or lonely, or hurting, or brokenhearted. To take time to pray, to beg a little bit that they'll come back to wholeness, to hope, to wake ourselves up to what we can do to help them make their way through path of hurt into a path of wholeness and healing. So if you're on our screen, we'll invite you to begin now, even putting names of those that you're praying for their healing into our chat. And here in this space, in the midst of our Mishberach prayer, we'll invite your names as well. Page 160 is Hashkiveni. Page 371. If you'd like to add now the names of those you are praying for their healing, we invite them into this space that we might hold them with you. They know they are refuah shlema, a return to wholeness and healing. We rise now for the Shamru on page 162, and we'll continue from there directly into our seventh Amidah.
page 182 and rise. We now turn to page 586 and remain standing for Alinu.
It is our honor now to call forward for welcome and announcement stars of the week.
Good evening, and thank you so much, Rabbi Colin and Cantorial Intern Jordan Goldstein, for our services tonight. We all appreciate the work that our temple staff does to keep this temple just functioning as well as it does. And Ben, a special thank you for coordinating all the virtual services and being our usher tonight. Tomorrow morning, Shabbat morning services will take place right here in the sanctuary and on Zoom, YouTube, Facebook Live, and our website. What choices? Gan Shabbat for Yachad kindergarten through 2-year-old second grade families is on Zoom tomorrow at 9:15 a.m. And Shirla Shabbat for Munchkins up to 5 years old with Debbie Bruckman is at 9:30 a.m. on Facebook Live. Looking ahead to the next 2 Shabbatos, next weekend, December 24th and 25th, and one following, December 31st and January 1st, 2022, the CBE buildings will be closed for the holiday weekends. But of course, we will be holding Shabbat services. They'll be available on Zoom and live streamed to our website, Facebook, and YouTube. So please join us. Be sure to subscribe to our weekly advisory and check our website, cbebk.org, for details about everything that's happening at CBE. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
In this Torah portion, now that we've come towards this end of our service, towards memory, towards our Kaddish Yatom prayer, in the Parsha this week, Jacob, as we know, he dies, and he is surrounded by his children, his family, his people, and he gives them each a blessing. What happens right after he dies is that Joseph throws himself on his father, and he kisses him, and he hugs him, and he cries. Each time that we say Kaddish, each time we remember, we come back to the emotions of those moments, the emotions of loss, when we've had to say goodbye, or we haven't had a next day to hug or to reach out. We bring them here, and we acknowledge them, we hold them for and with each other. We just let them sit here in this space. We love them as we remember. And so if you are remembering today, if this is within the first week of a loss that you've had, we want to invite you to rise and say the name of the one you're remembering aloud, or of course to put it into our chat in our virtual space. If this is a period of shloshim for you, the first 30 days of your loss, I want to invite you to rise and speak their name. If this is Shana for you, a year of your loss, I want to invite you to rise. Thank you. And if you are here to observe a yahrzeit, we want to invite you to rise and share their name as well. We rise now to surround you, to hold you up as one community as we remember the names of those who we have lost in this congregation. In their period of shloshim, Paul Michael Davidson, father of Karen Schlossberg and grandfather of Harry and Jonathan Schlossberg, Ruth Hayden Miles, mother of Barbara Helper and mother-in-law of Jan Helper, Chris Robeson, father of Dexter Scott, father-in-law of Emma Scott and grandfather of Murphy and Simon, Abe Schumer, father of Chuck Schumer, father-in-law of Iris Weinschall, grandfather of Jessica and Allison, and great-grandfather of Noah. And on their yahrzeit, the anniversary of their death, we remember Vivian Bader, Bernard Bender, Ruth Bender, Shirley Blank, Arthur Block, Jordan Bloom, Abraham Brilloff, Suzanne Brooks, Robert L. Simberg, Bessie Cohen, Alexander Davidson, Jill Dosick, Doris Helen Huggins Dozier, Paul Efros, Gussie Epstein, Abraham H. Frankel, Gladys Goldbetter, Elias Goldstein, Benjamin Goldstein, Edward S. Goodman, Sylvia Greengold, Isaac Heifetz, Kate G. Heller, Joseph Hyman, Bertie Himes, Fanny Eagleheimer, Solomon Eagleheimer, Louis M. Husta, Bernard Calvin, Linda Cartman, Stanley Kasakov, Samuel Katz, Ira Kellner, Marvin Cookman, Maximilian Corner, Michael Kraus, Charlotte Kriegel, Joseph J. Lechner, Ruth Litoff, Russell Lovett, Louisa Spiro Marks, Lillian K. Martin, Bridie May, William Merrick, Catherine Nathan, Harry N. Needle, Alfred Newman, Rebecca Newman, Barbara Perlberg, Fanny Pacheski, Alex Rabinovitz, Stephen Ravitch, Betty Schellenberg, Max Schwartz, Jose Shapira, Henry Singer, Kopel Schatz, Milton Schiller, Joseph Silverberg, Abraham Silverstein, Marvin Spector, Hannah Steiner, Joseph Weider, Jules Weil, Robert Weinberger, and Philip Wolfson. Remembering them with love and compassion, we turn to page 598 for Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah, v'yamad yivarach yirtiv v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam l'olmei olmaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitdaleh v'yitalal Shemei d'kudashah b'richu, La'elam kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high create peace for all who mourn. We say together, amen.
We conclude with words found on the bottom of 647. My strength in the song of you, God, will be my salvation.